Yeah,
these two old guys slugging it out. An all-Scottish match between Stephen Hendry and Alan McManus. Let's have a look at the final frame decider.
The 11th in the final frame, Stephen Hendry to break.
Handshakes from the players. The final and deciding frame. The 11th frame of the match. The winner will go through to the final and meet Dennis Taylor. And what a cracking match this has been. One of the best matches I've seen for a long, long time. Both players have played tremendous snooker. In the final frame, the first mistake from Alan McManus.
One. Eight. Nine. $16. $17.
Well, Alan McManus was the one to make the first mistake, and he'll be regretting that rather loose safety shot that he played. He left Stephen in for
24.
The opening red. He may be sat in the chair for quite a while, unfortunately.
25.
As he plays this red, will run off another one and split some more reds, and that really does open up this final frame now for Stephen.
Just a little bit tricky, this shot, but he does play it very well. Just a delicate stun through the gap between the black and the red, coming off the top cushion and onto the black. Well, in fact, he was able to get enough into it to slide it across. The angle looked too much for that shot.
$48. $49. $56. $57.
That's 8 reds and 8 blacks. And Stephen already made 2 centuries this evening with a magnificent 145. Red to the left of the pink
72.
goes. was the one.
72.
That was the one that he wanted. There's still 75 on the table. But what pressure to win from this position. Appeared to me to get a slightly bad contact there, Jim.
Yes, our camera just caught it right at the last second, and certainly the red and white didn't make a clean contact, and it looked as though the red may have just left the bed of the table for a second. But as you say, it's a lot of pressure Alan McManus is under to come back from this situation.
1.
Well, that's the end. But one would have to congratulate both players this evening for a wonderful exhibition of snooker. They both played magnificently. Unfortunately for Alan, just made that mistake in this deciding frame, but he can be proud of himself. He's played the best player in the world
16.
and taken it right to the wire. Not many people can do that.
17.
In fact, Stephen Hendry is probably the only player in the world who would have beaten McManus this evening.
20. 21. 28. 29.
Well, I hope that Dennis Taylor's not watching this. Every shot in the book.
35. 35. Stephen
Magnificent
Hendry,
match. Wonderful performance from Stephen Hendry, and he goes through to the final, defeating Alan McManus by 6 frames to 5.
Smuggled over.
Teller one, didn't I? So happy with that, didn't I?
As you
Why do
are,
people say I was miserable?
as you always were, Stephen. Always were so delighted. Alan, you haven't changed a bit.
No changed a bit. I butchered a safety and missed an easy red.
Well, we're going to ask Neil to analyse a couple of the errors in this match.
Well, this was the safety shot. I mean, look at this. It's whatever you do, Alan, don't hit the blue. That's what they say.
I think I'm unlucky there to catch the blue. I thought I played it all right.
You're going to have to practice after this, isn't it?
I know. In commentary, there was a suggestion it was a kick.
Definitely a kick.
But Stephen Hendry says that kicks are bad cueing, so all of a sudden, actually, it's come back to haunt him that statement, hasn't it? So he's cued it badly.
I'll tell you what I remember about that tournament. There was a celebrity doubles before it, and I played with Nicholas Parsons. He should have probably played that last frame. He would have done better.
Who did you play in the celebrity doubles with, or did you play?
Can't remember.
He probably wouldn't have given him the time of day,
pulled
whoever it was.
Pulled out of that.
Anyway, whoever they were.
Did you? I have no idea how well you two got on when you were playing. Did you get on really well?
I didn't get on with anybody. I had friends where I had nothing to do with people in those days.
Just everybody. There wasn't.
No, pretty much. But no, we didn't really spend a lot of time together.
No,
even though we're from Scotland and Alan was from Glasgow, I was from Edinburgh, and no, we didn't really see each other apart from at snooker tournaments.
And what about you, Alan? Did you have other close friends on the?
Well, you got sort of mates, you know, but actually my early years as a pro, there weren't many guys from the west of Scotland on the tour at the sort of nearer the top level, so I didn't see that many of them until maybe late 90s or whatever, so it was kind of on my own most of the time, and I didn't talk to this, he didn't talk to
I think that's the way that a lot of these guys are, but these two especially so, you know, they're both the same, didn't really mix too much, and it's not a team sport, is it?
No, well, you everyone's friend.
Yeah, well, that's why I didn't used to win very often. I never beat him, and only beat him once. He was about 12. So that would explain a lot, wouldn't it? Oh, you know, Mr. Nice Guy couldn't win an argument for most of the time.
God. But do you enjoy looking back at those moments? You think, are you able to watch back at it?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy that Rex Williams commentating there. I was a Rex Williams cue we're using as well. I paid about 30 quid for it, and that's the one that I won more or less everything with. the great Alex Higgins used to say it was only good for holding up tomatoes in a greenhouse. It was that bad a bit of wood. But Alan was the same. Alan didn't have a great cue, but it's just whatever you're used to.
Mine was holding up pea pods.
So. Well, that's one of the things when you look back at matches from that era and you look at the table, even the camera pictures, and you just see how much has changed about the game in that period of time.
It's strange, isn't it? Because they still use cues made of wood, you know, not like in golf, all the graphite stuff. I think we tried graphite cues, they were terrible, impossible to use those. Yeah. So things have changed, but in other ways, things are quite similar, really. You know, the balls and the pocket sizes, there's a lot to talk about that. I don't know if they're any different now, actually.
I was going to say, Alan, one of the things you actually brought up this week was some people talk about pocket sizes and say, oh, they play with bags now. Nothing's changed, has it, on the size of the pocket?
Not really, no. My first couple of seasons as a pro, I think we used the old BC Westbury tables, and I thought the pockets were generous then. But since the Rileys come in, they're cut differently. Yeah. And especially now, I mean, this week, I don't think we've seen anyone on a clearance for the red below the black spot drop it in and clean up. Because they're so tight.
In our day, everything was tougher, trust me. The pockets were impossible. Couldn't fit the balls into them, not like now.
Absolutely.
They're born. They're like 9-ball pool tables. I don't believe that, by the way.
They were chalker than your day.
No, nothing.
No, nothing.
You made ivory, the balls.
But apart from the obvious, which is obviously people playing a lot more now, a lot more tournaments, more chances and opportunities, what's the major difference? What are or perhaps some of the subtler differences for you guys between the mid-90s and now?
Yeah, I mean, possibly, yeah. There's just more tournaments, isn't there? I mean, it's in those days you used to maybe play and you'd have maybe 3 or 4 weeks in between tournaments, didn't you? And after the World Championship, you'd have the next tournament might not be till September. You'd have the summer off. It's become an all-year-round sport now.
And I guess that means it opens up the opportunities for a lot more players and a lot more people that snooker fans are familiar with.
Yeah, the one thing that suffers the amateur game. There's almost a culture now that amateurs consider themselves semi-pro, being able to play in things like the PTC events in the Barry Hearn era, but hopefully the amateur game will be stronger going forward.